I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rekah Kodash, double honors unto our apostle elders which rule great millstone wow, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure until the end. Shalom wa abba babal. So I recommend this movie, The Ghost and the Darkness, which is a true story about lions that were man-eaters, and it was in Savo, Africa, which is Kenya, and Savo means slaughter, okay? And these lions, which there was a few lions, they were slaughtering the Edomites, the Hamites, the Indians, the Persians, the East Indians, and but you know, Jake was scattered throughout the world. All right, so you know that Israelites were throughout the world, but this man, Val Kilmer, all right, he plays a Jake in there. He's an Irish, he's an Irish man that is a British soldier. The UK he came from. He was sent to hunt these lions. All right, and there's a lot of spiritual references in here. All right, like King David when he was trying on Saul's armor and he put it down because he didn't try it before battle, you know. And this man, his gun misfires because he didn't try the weapon before battle, you know. So there's a lot of spiritual references in here. And the thing that caught my attention, there's this part where they all flee, all the ones that were working on the railroad, which were a multiple of different nations. And they said they either believed the lions had the spirits of devils on them, or that the Lord sent them to stop the white devil from ruling the world, because they were building a train track through this land, and this was these lions' land, their territory, and they were devouring all these people that were in that land. All right, which that land today is a reserve, so it shows you that man lost. All right, right here, Savo East National Park, which it's all a national park pretty much in that area. See, this is where it was. See it? So it shows you that they pretty much just cut it off and said, don't be. It's an unsafe area. It says Savo East National Park, and then you have the west, and where this train track was is where all that bloodshed was, which Savo means slaughter. All right. It says slaughter. See? So it was a spirit on those lions to slaughter the Edomite and his slaves, which he uses Jake and the other nations, all right? Which it says in Ecclesiasticus 39, or you also heard it be known as Sirach. It says, there be, and it's verse 28, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury, when they're in their violence, lay on sore strokes. Which when they find these lions' den, it was like thousands of people they've eaten. It says, in the time of destruction, which in their fury lay on sore strokes, they cause suffering. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. And that one of the things I wanted to point out was these lions were like invincible to their bullet. All right, they set up traps. They were like only feet away and they couldn't shoot them. All right, they couldn't trap them. All right, they did this thing with the blood, right, of cows and goats and poured it in a place to get the lion to go there. But they did the opposite. They went to where the lions were not supposed to go. All right, because they were being guided by a spirit. All right, and even the man that gets ate, Michael Douglas. All right, he got ate by the lions, and he was supposed to be the better hunter, but he knew it was like a spirit driven. All right, he recognized that it was a spirit driven thing. All right, they all were realizing it, but the rich didn't care. They were willing to sacrifice everyone for it. And they made it clear. He said, I didn't care about you. I don't care about these men. The ones that died, I don't give a shit. I just want my train track, So let me get the movie. This man here, he was the better one. And they got his ass, Michael Douglas. All right. But it showed you that it was a spiritual thing. All right. It says, and appease the wrath of him that made them, which is the Lord. Fire, and this is why fire destroys things like people's houses and them in it. And hail, right? You've seen hail. You could read about it in Exodus when the Lord put all these things upon Egypt as plagues. And famine and death, which is coming to America. All right? All these were created for vengeance, which the Lord is going to punish the world for its wickedness, starting with the so-called white race. And that's why, I shared a video yesterday. It was reported that a coyote, which are not usually, attacking people, that's not normal for them unless there was many of them. But there was a video I shared with you where a coyote attacked a Jake, tore his hand up. All right. Well, that's a spirit on that animal to hunt that man and tear his ass up. When you see these dogs, when they eat their own owners, right? So it says teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. The spirit on those nuclear missiles, all right, that's the spirit of the Lord, all right, and he pours out his vengeance using these things. It says, they shall rejoice in his commandment when it's time to do it, which is, in the movie they said the lions are doing it for the pleasure. They shall rejoice in his commandment. Who's giving him the commandment? And the actor Michael Douglas, he knew it was the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because at the end he tells that guy before he dies, when you see your firstborn son, raise him high, pretty much dedicate him to God, because Val Kilmer, he came in contact with these lions many times, but he was able to escape with his life when the most fierce men were not able to. Right, because they had an African tribeman that he got slaughtered, and they said he was like the most fierce tribeman that they had. So at the end, that actor Val Kilmer was the greater man, and that's why he told him, when you see your firstborn, raise him up, because pretty much dedicate him to God for taking care of you. All right, it says, and they shall be ready upon earth, but you have this about to happen. You got animals like a Leviathan in the sea, but you don't even know about. And they've been waiting to pour out their wrath, the wrath of Almighty Yahweh Hashem, Yahushai on earth in these last days. And they've been waiting and waiting and waiting. So when that commandment comes, they're going to rejoice in bringing forth the judgment, all right, that the Lord has set forth. When need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. And they even showed, they shoot these lions finally, right? Because they would kill a couple of them off, but like I just showed you, the lions are still there. All right? But they shot the lions, and the lion was crawling to the man to devour him. Meaning there was no going backwards for that lion. Why? Because it says, when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. See? They're going to do what he commands them to do, which is to destroy. Because once again, going up, it says in verse 28, there be spirits, which these animals have spirits on them, that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes in the time of destruction. They pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them.
One man, when he says a coyote stalked him, then attacked right outside of his own apartment.
He survived that attack and says he was forced to kill the animal with his bare hands. We did want to warn you, some of the video is graphic, might be difficult to watch, especially for some of our younger viewers.
CBS 17's Baron James spoke to him about the incident and joins us live now. Baron.
Liz and Russ, James Pulliam just back from the ER here at home after having gotten more rabies shots. Tell me that the other day his adrenaline was pumping so hard he didn't have time to be scared when the coyote attacked, and he says they fought for 20 minutes.
Tried to bite me, and I kicked him.
The battle between beast and man was on.
I'm trying to scramble to get away.
James Pulliam, a 24-year-old, 6'1", 175-pound former athlete versus this wild coyote. The two coming face-to-face Friday evening when James stepped outside to have a smoke here at the Bernie Blessings Apartments on Somerset Drive in Roxborough. The wild animal creeped out of these woods and charged on James.
Then I fell, crawled through this little patch right here. I'm throwing rocks and grass, everything I can.
Traced his steps Monday by walking us through exactly what, where, and how it all went down.
I pinned him down and put my knee on his throat. I had to rip my hand out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Once I got my hand out of his mouth, I used both of my hands, just started choking him, put my knee on his neck, and just held him. Started hollering for help. It's like, you know.
How long did you hold him down like that?
Probably about 20 minutes maybe before the police got here. I had him all the way to the police got here and everything.
James ended up with multiple bite wounds on his hand and arms. He was rushed to the hospital for treatment, including antibiotics and rabies shots. Coyotes, of course, are no strangers to North Carolina, especially this time of year during springtime birthing season when wildlife experts say the animals are on the hunt to feed and protect their pups. So how do you